Hello everyone, I'm Dolan Duckett and I have Graves' disease. Now with this disease, we are encouraged to bake our own goods. This allows us to monitor the iodine and preservative intake into our bodies. But before we start baking our freshest rolls, we have to start with the most nutritional part about baking, the fresh yeast. So let's just get right to it. Today we'll need spatulas, an apple or a pear, a paring knife, a peeler, distilled water heated to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, King Arthur white whole wheat flour, a glass jar with an airtight fitting lid, and lastly, a draft-free area with a temperature of at least 75 degrees Fahrenheit. To establish our culture, we'll begin by prepping our apple. We'll be mincing it or cutting it into small pieces. First, we're going to peel a portion of the skin. See, that was simple. We'll clear our cutting board. Now we're just going to slice a nice little piece off the end. Now we're going to just cut down its width a couple of slices. For me, it's 3. Now we're going to cut along its width, making our cube pieces, but we are going to chop them even smaller. This will allow the fruit to release its sugars faster and allows the yeast to break down the apple's flesh that it'll use as energy. But don't make them too big or cut too much. It'll only increase your fermentation schedule and increase the likelihood of apple pieces being in your final product. Imagine taking a bite out of your cinnamon rolls and tasting and feeling soft decaying apple. Not a good idea. Now, after mincing, set aside in distilled water and we'll move on to where the magic happens, the mixing stage. Now, using a spatula, start by adding 1 cup of flour to our glass jar. Now, if you haven't already, drain and add your minced apple. Now, adding a 1/4 cup of our distilled water at a time, start to hydrate your culture. Adding water slowly prevents you from oversaturating it. Using your spatula, stir your culture well, cleaning the wall of the jar as you go. Now, the tricky part is that you have to keep adding water and stirring until there are no dry bits left and where the flour isn't running. Just remember, practice makes perfect and you'll get the hang of it over time. Clean your spatulas inside the jar, don't waste your hard work. And where you need to, just give it a nice little splash. There you go. Now keep stirring until those dry bits are eliminated. Now again, clean your spatulas inside the jar. You don't want to waste your hard work. With a dry microfiber towel, clean the wall of the jar of any unmixed material before we close it up. Now we'll close the jar, sealing the heat inside. And you're all done with mixing. Now, the final product should look and feel like a very dense frosting or porridge. And if you had a successful mix, you'll see instant results in the form of air pockets in your culture. And on the close-up, you'll see air pockets or cave-like structures being created automatically. That's a great sign your culture is alive and thriving. Now we'll place it in our draft-free space. I'm using my home proofer by Broad & Taylor, making sure the internal temperature is set at 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's it for today. In the next segment of this project, I'll show you how to feed and maintain your culture. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and tell me what you think in the comment section. Until next time, have a good one.